Hey everybody, it's Emily at Arc Schooling and welcome back for a new and exciting book haul. New and exciting just because I haven't done one in a while and I haven't even filmed anything in a while. I think this is like my first video in, I don't know, like 2 weeks. So I've been busy. There's been a lot going on and I didn't have time to film, so I'm excited to get some filming done today, and we're starting with a book haul. And I'm excited because I have a lot of books to talk about, so let's just get into it. I've kind of tried to organize this so that like it's sort of coherent. Like, I don't know how coherent it's a book haul, but I have like a middle grade YA pile, and then I have like books that I bought just for myself and my Nightworms. So let's start with the middle grade and YA pile, shall we? So a lot of these I've been buying for Regina because I'm planning for our homeschool year and I'm tweaking all of my book lists because I'm trying to gear them specifically to her and what she likes, because she is so picky about books. So I'm like, what can I switch up here to entice her? So I don't know what I'm using yet, but I bought a bunch of things. So let's just go through what I bought. So I did find a new Kalyn Barron that I didn't know existed. This is Cleopatra Confessions. I thought I owned all of Kalyn Barron's like YA queen books. Like, she does a lot of books about like royals and queens and things. So I thought I had all of them, but apparently she has one about Cleopatra, so I had to have that. And I don't know, we might read this in place of the Golden Goblet because I just don't think that book will hold her attention. I'm not sure, but I wanted to have something else to check out just in case. So I don't know what this is specifically, like I don't know what part of Cleopatra's life this encompasses, but I'm sure it's going to be really interesting. She does a really great job of bringing these people to life and making you feel some empathy for them and see what it was like to be a royal, because like it wasn't always so great. Like, I love her Tudor books, and she has another really great one about Anne Hathaway, William Shakespeare's wife. Love that one. So anyway, moving on, I also picked up Rebel Soul. I bought this specifically because it's set in Korea, and this is by XO, which I was really excited because I read XO earlier this year and I thought it was really cute and I liked her writing, so I was interested to read more of her work. And this is a sci-fi, which I feel like is going to be a little bit more into what I would like to read, so I thought this might be something Regina would like. This is like a dystopian setting, I think, in Korea. I really don't know too much more than that though. I just saw XO. It says Pacific Rim meets Korean action dramas, and this mind-blowing New Visions award-winning science fiction debut. So it sounds like it might be up both of our alley. In case I haven't mentioned it, she wants to do level 8 and like a combined level 8, level 9, which is a lot, but I'm like working on figuring out what we're gonna read. And one of the books that I have in there is, I love it. It's a really beautiful book, A Parcel of Patterns, but she does not like so much historical fiction, especially slow-moving historicals, which that definitely feels a little slower paced. So I'm like, what else can we read about the plague that might be more interesting to her? And I don't know if this will be it, but I was excited. This is A Cloud of Outrageous Blue by Vesper Stamper. This book is gorgeous. It's illustrated, but it's like a YA, like upper middle grade title, so like I'm excited about that. This is like a haunting fairy tale type story, I think, about a quiet village and the Great Plague. So it's the same like time period, the same topic, just done in a different way. And I don't know, this might be more her alley. I don't know, we'll see. But I think it's gonna be beautiful. Let's see, what else did I get? Oh, this is another one I got specifically for Regina. Just because I kept forgetting that it was a thing. It was on my radar, and for some reason I didn't pre-order it, and then I just forgot that it existed. and that is the Bomb graphic novel. This is the adaptation of Steve Sheinkin's Bomb, which I absolutely love that book. We're definitely going to read both of these, I think, because I don't want to skip it. We're definitely going to read the full book, but I think she might also enjoy the graphic novel adaptation because she loves graphic novels, and so do I. So this would be a really excellent addition to level 8, or just if you have a kid who's interested in this sort of thing, especially with the new Oppenheimer movie out. I think this is an important read. Oh yeah, I also picked up The Dark Matter of Mona Starr. This is by Laura Lee Coolidge, and I got this because I'm not sure if she's gonna like Stargirl. I want to try to have her read Stargirl first because I think that book is excellent, but if it's not her speed, this is a graphic novel, which she loves graphic novels, so right there, I think that would be more interesting, but also this is a similar topic. Yeah, sometimes the world is too much for Mona Starr. She's sweet, geeky, and creative, but it's hard for her to make friends and connect with other people, and her depression seems to take on a vivid, concrete form, and she calls it her matter. The matter seems to be everywhere, telling Mona she's not good enough and that everyone around her wishes she'd go away. But with therapy, art, writing, and the persistence of a few good friends, Mona starts to understand her matter and how she can turn her fears into strengths. So this just sounds like it's going to be beautiful. And even if she doesn't enjoy it, I'm going to read it, and I have a feeling I'm going to love this. And then I only have one more thing that I purchased specifically for Regina, and that is this gorgeous book, How to Draw Fantasy, Art, and RPG Maps. So, hear me out. I have this whole like idea brewing. We're going to be doing Lord of the Rings this year because when she wanted to do level 8 and level 9 together, I was like, well, we're absolutely not skipping Lord of the Rings. We've never done it as a, well, she's never done it as a read aloud. So she's seen the movies though. So she knows the story. So I think it's time to do the books. And then I kept thinking, like, what can we do along with this? And, like, I've never put together a full-on unit study for Lord of the Rings, but I feel like we could do something with that. I don't know what we're going to do exactly yet, but I feel like this will play a part in it. If she's going to, like, work on writing this year and creating her own stories and stuff, I thought this book could be really useful in helping her develop, like, world-building skills and, like, creating maps and things. So, I don't know. It felt like it tied in well, so we might be doing a thing. I'm still kind of, I'm not even fleshing it out yet. I'm still thinking about it, but I'm hoping to flesh that out soon. Okay, the rest of these are just things that I bought either because I thought I could do something with it in a level or a unit study, or I just wanted to read it. So first up, I have Resistance Stories from Black History for Kids by Rand Miller. I think I saw, who did I see talking about this? I don't remember, but somebody was sharing this book in their stories on Instagram, and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. So I picked it up. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, though. I had no intention of doing any major revisions to level 5 or 6, but if I were to, I could see this being added. Something to think about in the future, but that's a potential thing that could happen. But this is a book that covers like a pretty wide range. From, hold on, yeah, it's a lot of chapters. So this is like 39 chapters in it, and it goes from like ancient African civilizations all the way through more modern day Black resistance stories. So like it's pretty wide in scope, which I think is awesome because there's not a lot of books like that. So sounds like it would be a really good addition to levels 5 and 6, even if I never get around to including it, which I hope I do at some point, but I would recommend adding this in if you're currently doing those levels. This one I bought on a whim. It might be for Regina. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet exactly, but I have What is Poetry? The Essential Guide to Reading and Writing Poems by Michael Rosen. I thought this might be fun for like middle grade, middle school level. Maybe early high school, I don't know yet. I haven't read this yet, so I don't really know what exactly, but Regina loves poetry, so this might be a fun little tie-in for her as we study more poetry over the next year or two. And this basically is just sort of a treatise about what is great about poetry, what what is poetry, what can you do with a poem, my thoughts as I was writing poems, how to start writing poems, some technical points about writing poems. So there's a lot of like stuff going on in here, so it could be a really interesting, like, if you're interested in studying poetry, this could be a good way to go about doing so. Then this I picked up while I was working on level 10, and I never actually used it, but I still have it now. And that's Michael Morpugh's Beowulf. This is a retelling, or like a, yeah, this is a like story version for, I would say middle grade, but I think it says ages 8 to 12, but I think this could work like if you've got a teen who is uncertain about reading something as challenging as Beowulf. This could be a good way to introduce it before doing the actual poem. So that's what I bought it for, but then I didn't end up having space for it in the level, so I'm just, you know, now I own it. But it could be a good option. I'm gonna keep it on my shelves because I feel like it could come in handy for later. Regina hasn't gotten there yet, so perhaps we will use this. Then I have 2 other middle grade titles that I pre-ordered. This one I'm really excited about, and that is Waka T Brown's newest book, The Very Unfortunate Wish of Melanie Yoshimura. This is like a haunted story. This is sort of like Coraline, but with Japanese mythology, I think, which just intrigues me. I love the 2 Waka T Brown books that I've read previously. Both of them have been realistic fiction. I think the first one was like a memoir, but written as fiction, and then her second book was just fiction, but like contemporary fiction, I think. So this is an interesting, like, different kind of story. So I'm really excited to see what I think of this. But yeah, it sounds really good. I love Coraline, so like, that makes me intrigued. Then I also have Julie Lee's newest book, In the Tunnel. This is about the Korean War, I think. Yeah, trapped in an enemy tunnel, a young refugee experiences the Korean War firsthand in the searing story of survival, loss, and hope. Regina and I read her other book. What was it called? Brother's Keeper, I think, and I loved it. I thought it was riveting. So when I saw she had a new book coming out, I pre-ordered it. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm really looking forward to doing so because I feel like this could be excellent. Okay, now we're gonna move on. Ooh, this stack is heavy. Now we're gonna move on to things that I bought. Oh, no, I'm not. Hold on. One other book that I purchased for a specific reason, and that is The Triumph of Seeds. This is by Thor Hansen, and I bought this for level 10, and I've already read it, and it's excellent. This is such a... I love books that teach history through a different lens. And this one focuses on seeds and how seeds have affected humanity, through prehistory, through modern. It's just really interesting, and I was very excited to have stumbled upon it. I had a different book by this author in my stack, and I was like, does this fit well? I don't know. And so when I started looking for other things, I saw he had this book, which absolutely fits so much better. So this is excellent. Highly recommend this if you have any interest in botany, any interest in studying history through science and plants and things like that. And yeah, just this was riveting. So much more interesting than I expected a book about seeds to be. Okay, now let's get into the things that I bought just for myself. Most recently, I got Kalyn Barron's newest book. This is You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I have been staring this down. I wanted to pre-order it, but then I kept talking myself out of it because, do I really need that? Yeah, I do. I do need it. I bought it. I now own it. So this is a YA horror slasher type story. I thought it was supposed to be realistic, but I hear now that it might have some more fantasy, fantastical, sci-fi elements to it. I have no idea what. But I enjoy a good YA thriller, horror, slasher type story, so I'm excited to read this. It takes place too in an amusement park, or is it a camp? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, so this is set at a summer camp. So right off, I'm intrigued. So this is like horror summer camp where you go and you like live out Friday the 13th kind of a vibe. And she gets the job as the final girl. I have no idea what exactly that entails. Like, how would this work? But it sounds really fun. Apparently, the fantasy becomes real when people actually start dying. So, very excited for that. This gorgeous book came the other day, and I was so excited about it. That is The Weaver and the Witch Queen by Genevieve Gornacek. If you read The Witch's Heart with the Art Book Club a few years back and you've been wanting more of her writing, you're going to want to check this out. This is a story about two women in Norway. It says the lives of two women, one desperate to save her missing sister, the other a witch destined to become Queen of Norway, intertwined in this spellbinding, powerful novel of Viking Age history and myth from the acclaimed author of The Witch's Heart. It sounds like it's gonna be great. And this cover, this isn't doing it justice. Go look it up. It's beautiful. It looks like a tapestry. I'm excited. One of my lovely customers sent me a gift. I was so excited. Like, I don't get presents very often. So I was excited. She went to a Holocaust museum and picked this up for me, and it's Echoes from Auschwitz. This is written by Ava Moses Core, who I love her writing. I own and have read the middle grade story she wrote. What is it called? I Will Protect You, which she wrote for children about her experiences in Auschwitz and being experimented on, her and her twin sister, by Dr. Mengele, and like her thoughts and experiences as an adult. It's beautiful. Highly, highly, highly recommend checking that out if you and your children are going to be reading about the Holocaust. So I also bought her other book that is on the same topic for adults. And then she sent me this one, which I didn't even know existed. So now I have this book. Thank you so much. So I'm excited to read this very soon, I hope. I have The First Bright Thing by J.R. Dawson. This was another pre-order I had. This is supposed to be similar in story and vibe to The Night Circus, but I think it's set during World War I in moving into World War II, I think. And this is like also a Jewish book, so like a lot of Jewish characters and their experiences in this time period. So like, yes, that sounds exactly like a thing I would love. So I have very high hopes for this. I'm really hoping that I love it. I succumbed to temptation while we were at Target, and I bought Riley Sager's newest book. I've only read one Riley Sager. I own, I think, 2 of them. And it was fine. Like, I don't read a lot of thrillers. The reason this one has been speaking to me, the only one left, is because it's set in the 80s and it has to do with like a Lizzie Borden style murder mystery thing that's happening, and it's jumping back and forth in time between like the 20s and the 80s, and that's exactly the kind of thing I would want in a thriller. So I don't know. I'm hoping that this is good. I hope this is better. What did I read? The other one, I think, well, I don't remember which other Riley Sager I read. I think it had to do with an apartment building and organ stealing or something like that. And it was just fine. Like, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it. I'm hoping this is a book I'm going to love more than that one. So if you've read it, let me know. Did I make a mistake in purchasing it? I'm hoping it's good. I had intended to get it at the library. Then I also bought a book that I've been highly anticipating, and that is In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune. This is another one I'm contemplating adding in for me and Regina to read together, because she loved The Wild Robot. Like, robot stories are one of her favorite things. So I feel like this could work really well for her, especially tying in with level 8 and being like a lot of science fiction and science history. I feel like this could work. It could also work with level 9 too, like learning about humanity and like robots adapting to humanity, and like it has a lot of the themes that I think would work. But I don't know anything about it. So I don't know if it's like something we could read together, or maybe it might be inappropriate for a 14-year-old, almost 15-year-old. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. Maybe I'll read it first and decide from there. Let me know if you've already read it. But yeah, this is, T.J. Klune's writing is so good. So freaking good. I love The House in the Cerulean Sea. Also just absolutely loved Under the Whispering Door. So much so that I immediately bought this. I guess I like just needed more T.J. Klune in my life. His writing is just beautiful and engaging, and it just sucks you right in, and the characters are all people that you just like find yourself loving. So I'm really intrigued to see what he does with a sci-fi story about robots. I bought the newest Lisa C. Lady Tan's Circle of Women. I really wanted to read this because it's medieval Chinese history about a woman in science, which those are all things that I'm interested in. I love medieval stories. I love reading about Asian countries and cultures, and I love reading about women in science. So like, this is a book written for me, basically. So I'm really hoping that I love it. This one I pre-ordered on a whim, which I've been trying not to do, but it spoke to me. And that is Good Night, Irene by Luis Alberto Urrea. This is a story about World War I, I think? No, World War II. Okay, I don't remember what anything is. So yeah, this is a story about World War II, and it's based on a true story. And like the end pages are all photographs. And this has to do with women working for the Red Cross in Europe. And I read a book a while back that I cannot remember the name of. It was a Little Women retelling, and the most interesting, it was like Little Women but make it more modern day, but it was like set in the 40s. So the most interesting part of that whole book was Amy and her story working for the Red Cross in, I think they were in Paris or somewhere in France. And that part of the story was the only thing that really held my interest. So I'm like, I should probably find something about that and read more about it. So I was intrigued that it's based on a true story, and it has to do, I think, with friendship between the women working, again, it's set in France, working with the Red Cross. So this definitely has potential. Another book that I just succumbed and purchased after staring at it for, I don't know, it came out in like February. That is She is a Haunting by Trang Tan Tran, and this is like a Vietnamese YA ghost story. And it's just, I don't know, it speaks to me. I've been staring at this cover for so long. So I think it's about a girl who goes to Vietnam to meet her estranged father, and the house is haunted. I think it's a haunted house story. I'm not sure if it's a haunted house or a haunted person. Yeah, their goal is to survive 5 weeks. 5 weeks pretending to be a happy family in the French colonial house that her father's restoring. But the house has other plans. So yeah, it's a haunted house story set in Vietnam. Sounds like it's going to be really good. I have not, again, heard too many people talking about this one, but like it does pop up once in a while on lists of things you should be reading. And it's also just a beautiful cover. I bought Babi Yar, the classic documentary novel of Nazi-occupied Ukraine by Anatoly Kuznetsov. I don't even know how I stumbled upon this, but I've only recently learned about what happened at Babi Yar. I've read a lot about the Holocaust, but not a lot about specifically Ukraine and what happened there. And so I've heard of this event, but I've not read much more than like a few blurbs about it. So when I saw there was an entire book devoted to it, I felt like I needed that in my collection. And this is written as like documentary style, which I don't know exactly what that means for a book. There's not like a lot of pictures or anything. It's all just text, but like it's divided up interestingly, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to read and report back. And then I have the Postcard. This is by Anne Berest. This one I have been hearing about a ton. Lots of people in my feed have been reading this and raving about it, so I bought it. I don't know what I'm going to get to it though. But this is a historical fiction memoir kind of a book. And it's about a woman researching her family history and what happened to them during the Holocaust. They lived in France. That's about all I know. But yeah, I don't think I've read a lot about specifically what happened in France. Like I've read a few books that were about the war set in France, but not the Holocaust. I think only one I've read that was specifically about the Holocaust, and that was Catherine's War, which is a graphic novel. Highly recommend. It's gorgeous and really well done, but I'm kind of intrigued to see what I think of this because I know a lot of people have loved it. Then finally, to wrap this up, let's talk about what I got in my Nightworms in May and June. Again, I do not ever remember the themes for these. And of course, oh, did I? Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I left the bookmark in, at least in the June. May? No. June and July. I'm like, what month is it? I'm so tired, you guys. So these are the June and July Nightworms packs. So the June Nightworms theme was what? At the Drive-In. And these are both books by authors I've never heard of. So Joe R. Lansdale is the author, and we got a short story by him which is called Shooting Star. And this is a short story collection that is called The Drive-In Multiplex, and all of the stories in here are inspired, I think, by Joe R. Lansdale. So you have a bunch of different authors, like you have, let's see, James A. Moore, you have S.A. Crosby, Owen King, Stephen Graham Jones. Can you even write a horror short story collection without Stephen Graham? I don't think you can. Stephen Graham Jones is essential. His short stories are always so good. So lots of different authors writing short stories inspired by this author I've never heard of. So I'm kind of curious. I really want to read this first. It's a short story, and see what I think, because I don't know anything about this author. And then in July, again, I wasn't smart enough this time to put the bookmark in here, was I? I don't remember what the theme was. Oh, I was! Look at me, being on top of it. So proud of myself. And the theme for July was cruel intentions. So we got two books for this one as well. We have Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi. This one I've actually heard a lot about and was really interested in getting. This is a sort of Lord of the Flies type of story about boys living in a boarding school. And I don't really know much more than that. I don't know what happens. I think it's like a group of men arrive at their door, one of whom is badly wounded with occult symbols carved into his flesh. His death releases an ancient evil that spreads like sickness, infecting St. Vincent's and the children within. So it's like a haunting, possession, Lord of the Flies type of thing going on. Sounds really good. I feel like this is going to be a book I really love. Then I also have 19 Claws and a Blackbird. This is by Augustina Bazterrica, and this is the author of Tender is the Flesh. This is a translated short story collection. I think the author is from Argentina, so it's translated. I don't really know. I've not read Tender is the Flesh. I'm kind of afraid to. It just feels like a book that's going to disturb me too much. Like, I have like levels where I can go, and that one's just a step above where I feel like I could handle. I've heard some really disturbing things about it, but maybe this would be a more gentle introduction to their writing. Okay, that's it. That is it for today's book haul. Those are all the things that I bought in June and July. I don't know when I'm going to do another book haul because I'm trying to like curb my book purchasing until I do a bookshelf purge, which is way overdue because I do not have space for these books. I don't know where they're going to go. But let's see if I can do a stack. Oh my gosh, I'm scared. Hi, here we go. I'm not going to lift this because I do not want to die tonight. This is very heavy. I have a lot of books in my lap. This is everything I bought. It's quite, I didn't even count. I don't want to count. I don't think I want to know how many books I bought the last 2 months because I don't need to know that information. Let me know if there's anything in this stack that you think I need to prioritize, or if you've already read, let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you bought anything you're excited to read this month. I'd love to know. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye!